Okay, this morning we're here with Clarence Blalock, who is one of our five labor commissioner candidates. Clarence, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Good, thank you. And you're a native of Paulding County, I take, if I remember correctly. So, what part of Paulding do you live in?
I live in the southern part of the county. I have a Hiram address, but it's unincorporated.
Okay, down south of Howard. Okay. Well, it's good to see you this morning. I hope your weather's going to be about the same down there as it is here. It's been yucky for the last
Yep.
couple of days. I'm sure it is there too. But I appreciate you spending time with us this morning, and we'll go ahead and get started. Give you a chance, like I do all candidates, just to sort of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, your family, your history, your job, whatever you want to talk about. So I'll turn the floor over to you. Go ahead.
So my name is Clarence Blalock, and I've been involved in Democratic politics for quite a while. I was one of Peter Hupper's managers. I worked on the coordinated campaign to elect Kamala Harris last year, and I received the most votes in the first round of the U.S. House primary last year as well. I'm most proud of my work as manager for Peter Hupper's campaign, where I proved that a strong message and great strategy can yield amazing results.
Yeah, Peter and Alicia's campaigns were both very, I think, very encouraging and very good. I know that you worked with Peter and you guys did a lot of the sort of organization as far as get out the vote messaging and that sort of thing. So congratulations on that. A huge victory for Democrats, one we haven't seen like that in well, I guess since the 1980s or something. It's been a
It,
while since we've
it
seen one of those.
was the largest Democratic margin of victory since Joe Frank Harris's reelection in the 80s.
Yeah, I remember Joe Frank was always laughed. That's easy. That's an easy name to remember. He was governor when I was in high school, and so I'm not as young as I'd like to be. So that was a while ago.
Are
So
any of us? That's the question. Are
yeah,
any of
I
us as
know,
young
I
as we
know.
want to be?
No, we're not. So it's good to have you here, and thank you for that. And congratulations on that victory. So tell us why you're running for labor commissioner of the state of Georgia.
Well, this position matters more than people realize. So when I started running, no one was running for this position. And from my conversations with the public, both before and after I started running, I've learned how poorly workers are treated under the current Republican administration. So Georgia residents can't receive benefits or workforce training because their offices have been closed, the budget is measly, and we aren't focused on workforce training or funding.
Okay. What is just out of curiosity about how many offices are there for the Department of Labor? Do you know that? I can't remember. It's like 30
It's
something or
it's less than 50 now. It's in the 30s. I think it could be something like it's in the 30s. I mean, it's going downward, but it's in the 30s right now.
and I imagine most of those are probably somewhere around the metro area, at least about half of them, I would imagine. So
Well, there used to be an office in Kennesaw which closed. So, that was in the
right.
metro area. That's Cobb County. And then there was an office in Cartersville that closed. So I think, we're losing offices throughout the state.
Yeah. Well, I know and labor the Department of Labor is a really big department. I think probably Department of Labor, Department of Ed are the two biggest if I had to guess. So yeah, it's a very important position indeed. So what would you consider just now that you're running? I know you probably have several issues that you consider important, but if you just could pick two or three to highlight for us, what are they and why do you pick those?
So Georgia's been heralded by Governor Kemp as the best state to do business. While at the same time, it ranks near the bottom for workers, according to Oxfam. So we rate low in workers' rights, protecting unions, and our minimum wage is ridiculously low. So low minimum wage, it hurts all workers and not just those in low skill positions.
Yeah, is the state minimum wage something? Is it still around what $2, $3? Did they raise that ever, or is it still
It
ridiculously
was,
low?
it's under the national. I believe they still have it at 515, possibly
550. Okay,
525. But it's a number that it doesn't matter because, the national law overrides ours, but
right,
our rate is below the national.
right. Well, it doesn't. The only people it affects are people like who receive tips, waitresses, waiters. Though for some reason they don't fall under the well, they don't fall under the federal because it's not considered interstate commerce, I
Yeah,
guess.
they have a
Yeah,
different rule where they can receive under the minimum wage, just like two and change,
right,
because they're getting tips. So,
right.
but if they don't get tips, they're getting paid very poorly.
Yeah, and it's hard to even afford insurance or anything like that when you're working under those conditions. So, okay. Now, again, you've already talked a little bit about the next question I have for you. Workers' rights, wages. Like you said, Georgia, Kemp is always bragging about the state being good for business. And maybe maybe it is. Okay, that's cool. But what can you do specific? What can a labor commissioner do specifically to both keep the state good for business and to promote workers' rights at the same time? What are some of the things you can do to do that?
Well, firstly, I just reject the argument that for businesses to do well, workers have to be mistreated and viewed as commodity. So businesses rely on a stable, educated, and productive workforce, and those workers need to share in the profits they produce. So any business that can't pay workers a living wage isn't doing right by workers. And those aren't the kind of businesses we want in our state. So it's about that perspective.
Right. And because your labor commissioner is independently elected, you have certain powers that are independent of the governor. The governor doesn't have all the power go through him or her. It can go through other offices as well. So as labor commissioner, like you said, you're planning on opening more offices if if the budget's there,
Right.
and doing those sorts of things, right? Okay. Let's see. Um, mm, what's next here? Well, okay, so some issues that you talked about, low minimum wage and workers' rights and so forth. Uh, let's leave that on the table for a little bit. Now we'll go to more about the nuts and bolts of the race itself, and starting with the primary. I don't expect you to give away any big secrets or anything about your campaign strategy, but just tell me. Well, first of all, tell me what do you think sets you apart from your competitors in the primary? And I'm not even expecting you to talk about them so much, but just you yourself. What gives you a unique advantage to be the next candidate for a labor commissioner for the Democrats?
Well, everyone else at running, they're first time candidates, and running statewide is challenging. So I would say the office is too important to leave the chance. Our Democratic base deserves a candidate who knows how to connect with voters and knows how to win. So I have the right background and experience, and with Peter Hubbard, I just
Right,
showed the path of how Democrats can win statewide.
right. And is there anything you could share with us from that campaign that you can take with you into this campaign? I know, like I said, I don't want you to give away the farm or anything,
I
but
would say we did a few things that are very important. We had a very strong, clear message that resonated with voters. 14% of Republicans came over and voted for Peter. These are people who are
Mhm.
identified as Republicans. It's about having that strong, clear message, uh, basically connecting with people and making robust contacts.
Right. Yeah, I think that's an old rule. You have to make like 5 or 6 contacts, or that's the one I always remember anyway. So you guys apparently make quite a few contacts around the state with that particular campaign. Okay, let's look into the strategy a little bit. Now, the primary is going to be in May. So you got a couple of months. There are 5 candidates as far as we know right now, assuming that all 5 of you qualify and go into that. What's your strategy in general when you're in a field that big, and how do you approach financing? How do you approach contacts with voters, that sort of thing? So what's your idea there on that?
So I'll say I have a plan,
Yeah.
and they have plans, and that as someone who's worked on multiple winning campaigns, I want to keep them guessing.
Okay, well, fair enough. I can understand that. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think the labor commission so far, you guys, well, no, the governor's race is more
Yeah,
crowded,
the
I think, but
governor's race is
labor.
more crowded
Yeah,
than ours.
I think labor's right with 5 of you guys. That's the second most, and we still got a couple that don't even have one yet. So hopefully, some people will move into those. Okay, so let's talk about if you win the primary. You are an experienced person with campaigns, and you've worked on general elections before. So now, let's say you're the candidate. You are the candidate for the Democratic Party. Um, what kind of needs does such a campaign have? You're part of a combined campaign, but as far as fundraising and all that kind of stuff goes, for Democratic voters, give us an idea of what is needed for a candidate such as yourself in a race like that.
So I'll say whatever I do, I always run a tight budget. And, you know, the candidates I worked with, they've not always been the best funded candidates, but I've been able to get them to win. And I'm confident that as the nominee, I'll be able to raise what's needed to win in November.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so again, we've talked about it a little bit already. Let's say now that you've gone into the general, you've won there, and you've become the labor commissioner. You are in charge of one of the bigger departments of the state. Uh, I don't expect anybody to have that kind of experience directly. I mean, most people are running for something for the first time. They're brand new to it. But some of your life experiences, what can you bring to that in order to be in charge of an organization that large? What are they?
So, so I'm a small business owner, and running a small business means balancing the books, making contracts, working with others, and these are all the skills that I'll use as labor commissioner. So the key to being successful in labor is winning first. So anyone can have the best plan, but it's theory if you don't win. I have a history of electoral success that I'm going to be able to share as the nominee and be able to make sure we have a Democratic governor who will give me the budget that labor needs.
Right. And that is important. And a lot of the times in these statewide contests, the it's basically an all or nothing kind of thing. Not always, but it's usually either the one party sweeps it or the other. So we could be in that situation next year as well, given how elections have been going lately. It seems to be tilted our way a bit.
I wouldn't expect splits. I just don't. I mean, I
Yeah,
think we're having more people not do split tickets, and I'm just not expecting a split.
right. So we will see that down the road. Well, hopefully that will go our way. Well, we talked, sort of covered all the details. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about issue wise or just campaign wise? What are some of your thoughts that we haven't broached so far?
Well, this is pretty much the recap, but I want to work with the other statewide nominees, and I want to focus on the area of the state where we can motivate lower propensity voters and close the gap. So often the issues that we have many people running statewide who are not coordinating, then you have a
Mhm.
duplication of efforts. So we must close the gap between Democrats and Republicans statewide. And that isn't so much about money, but it's about hard work and knowledge. And I hope to bring both as the nominee.
Okay, good. Do you have any other? You have your little stump speech you'd like to give everybody about why they should vote for you here at the end, or if you do, the floor is yours.
Well, I think I've explained just, why the nomination process is about picking the best Democrat going forward, who we want to
Mhm.
represent us. So, the people running against me, I don't view them necessarily as my rivals. My rival is who the Republican nominee is going to be, which right now would
Right.
be Brenda Rivera Holmes. I hope I've just laid out the importance of this department, why I can win in November, because I know people say their number one issue is affordability. To have affordability, you have to have a job, you have to have workforce training. This is a department that is massively underfunded. $10 million budget. They need over 40 million just to update their systems. And these are the systems that failed us during COVID. So, if lots of people were on unemployment COVID who never been on that before. And they realize that we have a perspective of business first. We do not do anything for workers. We're very low. We have we're not doing anything for workers' rights, unfortunately,
Mhm.
and we're really suffering for that. And so the workers of state are suffering incredibly. I just met someone the other day. He was a driver for Amazon, and he was talking about how they're not able to even take bathroom breaks.
Mhm.
So it's just an absolutely atrocious situation. And when you talk to the workers of this state, they are truly suffering, and that we need a Democrat in this position who's going to use this as a bully pulpit to fight for workers' rights, for benefits, and for people's salaries, because that is an affordability issue. Having giving somebody a job, training them for their job, and allowing them to have a living wage.
All right. Thank you very much. Good answer. And I appreciate the time you have with us here today. Clarence, I know you're still a busy man working on various campaigns. Well, I think they're all over now. I think you're kind of free and clear of most of them now, I believe. So, aren't you?
Yeah, we just finished the runoff cycle on Tuesday.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's like we have special elections somewhere in this state every week. It seems like, and there's
I
still
think
more
we
to
might
come, I
have
think.
one coming up early next year in the 14th.
Well,
So
yeah,
we have something coming up soon. I can't tell you the date. We don't know that yet, but
right.
that'll be a big one. So
Well, that one, and then there's going to be sort of spin-offs from that one. There'll be at least one state senate special election too. So yeah, so that means good job security for consultants like you. So, so you'll be busy
well,
in
yeah, I
addition
mean,
to your own
I would just say
campaign.
elections don't just happen in November, right? I mean, you never
Right.
know what's going to happen. There's just a lot of turnover, and just
Yeah.
elections just happen all the time.
No. Especially these days. So,
Mhm.
all right, Clarence, thank you so much for coming by this evening. I appreciate your time. I know you got stuff to do, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you so much for stopping in with us.
All right, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
No problem. We'll see you around soon. Since you're a member of the Northwest Georgia community up here, we'll see you.
I'll be up there soon. Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
bye.